morning. In fact, it's developing news right now. A judge in Malawi has rejected Madonna's petition to adopt a child. This just happened in the last hour. Again, Madonna's adoption request denied. Joining us now with more by phone on today's ruling, Ziona Nataba, the Secretary to the Attorney General of Malawi. Welcome. Are you there? We lost. Again, we're going to try to get the Secretary to the Attorney General of Malawi back. But we do have Deborah Fayrick. She also has been following this story, our CNN correspondent. Deborah, are you with me?
Yeah, Carol, well, you know, Madonna was not in court when she learned that this adoption would not go through. For the judge, it really came down to two things. First, Malawi has a law that says prospective parents must live in the country for 18 months, and that residency requirement was waived when Madonna adopted her first son, David. Second thing, the judge really believed that the little girl was being well cared for at the orphanage, so it didn't need to be adopted. And this is what we're learning now. We filed a story earlier. She got so much attention during this entire thing. Madonna can appeal the ruling to Malawi Supreme Court, but the country's child welfare minister really was in back of this.
Madonna has been in the African nation of Malawi for almost a week, and her presence has created a media circus. Caravanning into court on Monday, she had her sights set on adopting her second Malawian child, 4-year-old Mercy. Mercy's been living in an orphanage since her mother died shortly after giving birth.
Can you tell us why you're adopting again, Madonna? Can you understand people's reservations about it, seriously?
It may not be their business, but people everywhere are weighing in.
We are looking at the current scenario, and our worry, and this is a strong worry, is that these processes are merely amounting to child kidnapping. Or we have a scenario which caused all of us to redefine the boundaries between child adoption and child kidnapping.
Not all of Malawi is sour on the adoption, though. Radio shows have been flooded with callers supporting Madonna, and some Malawian officials support her too.
If you project 20 years from now, where will the child be if the child is left in the orphanage where it is, or if it gets a chance to get an education with Madonna?
It's not the first time Madonna's faced adversity over an international adoption. She adopted her son David Banda from Malawi in 2006 and came under fire from critics who claimed she used her fame and fortune to bend the rules. The adoption process is never fast. In the U.S., adoptions can take up to 2 years. That's one reason many Americans wind up looking overseas. In 2007, Americans adopted more than 17,000 foreign children. Madonna isn't the first celebrity to make headlines through adoption. Angelina Jolie's family includes adopted children from Cambodia, Ethiopia, and Vietnam.
And of course, for some reason, Angelina Jolie never has a problem when she goes to adopt a child, at least not that people know of. Madonna can appeal this ruling to Malawi Supreme Court. The country's child welfare minister did endorse Madonna's adoption application, saying there's so many orphans, if there's one less mouth to feed, that's good for the country.
Well,
Carol,
you know, I was going to ask you that because part of the ruling that I find the most strange is that the judge ruled that the child is well cared for in this orphanage. Wouldn't it be better if the child were adopted out, or is the intent here to have somebody from Africa adopt the child over the rich American Madonna?
It's what the message sends. Do you admit that you can send your children out to be better cared for elsewhere? The fact that the child is in the orphanage, she does have family members. Whether those family members take the child now, still up for debate. But boy, the amount of outrage people felt with Madonna coming in to quote unquote take one of their children, she really had sort of a tough case to prove.
Well, it's clear that she did, huh? Okay, but I'm sure it's not over. Deborah Fayrick, thanks so much for following this story for us.
Coming up now at 31.